Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast Go, there was an Apple event yesterday. Apple Watch, new iPads, Apple One bundle. David and Warren want to try and claim I was wrong about iOS being released under the new phone, but little did they know. I knew all along, but was under an NDA. And of course, the entire Mac line was replaced overnight with A14 Silcone-based processors, or, they weren't. All of that tonight and more on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And good evening, everyone. We are so very, very happy that you are here with us tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast Go. We just had a huge event yesterday that probably wasn't nearly as huge as what some people wanted it to be, but yeah, it was stuff. And I've got some people here with me. There are people here. Going to start tonight with Mr. Dave Ginsburg. How are you there, Mr. Dave Ginsburg?
I'm doing great, Mr. Guy Serle. It's
what happened to your camera? It looks like it's getting out of focus a little bit.
Is it? I mean, I got some lights up here. Yeah, but I'm doing well. It was an exciting event yesterday, and looking forward to discussing all this with you.
How exciting did you think that event was?
I thought it was. I actually liked it. I was. As I keep turning the lights up here, I was actually. As I'm trying to mess around with these lights here,
yeah,
I was
because this is the time to do that.
Yeah, I was pleasantly pleased to have that the event was it was concise to the
snappy.
Point.
It was snappy.
There was all those times we sit through those Apple events and you have all these developers that come out and talk, and then you're saying, oh God, I gotta sit and listen to this guy. I mean, everything was just right, boom, 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 and you found out everything you wanted to know. And I actually rewatched it today, and yeah, it was just a very.
It was like just under an hour.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, and we also have Mr. Warren Sklar. Hello there, Mr. Warren Sklar.
How are you doing? And I thought the event was meh. I'm going meh on that one.
You're going meh on that? Yeah, I felt a little underwhelmed.
I kind of did too, to be honest with you, but it is what it is.
So, yeah. And if you'd like to make some comments, everyone, just follow the directions there that are on the bottom. The directions on the bottom of the screen, it's right down there. None of it is clickable, so don't try clicking on it.
Can't click those links. I've tried.
Can't click those links, but it's pretty easy. StreamYard.com/Facebook, and that's all you got to do. And then hit the OK button, and you'll be able to do some comments. So yay on comments.
Smash that OK button.
Smash that OK button. Hit that notification bell. Oh, this is going to be a fun show. I can tell already.
You got the dollar tip.
I do.
Yeah.
And so I'm delighted, and we're just going to actually, we already have a comment. Did somebody make a comment already? Let me see. Hello there, Mr. Comment. That was from Marcus.
Yes.
Those were just the mics he tested before the stream. I have no idea what you're talking about, Marcus. There were no microphones. There are no microphones other than this one right here.
Microphone and a turntable.
So we're basically just going to talk about the Apple event.
I think that's a good idea.
Got some good quick takes.
Yeah. So I was not aware of this first one. David did all the show notes, so he is to thank or blame, depending on how well the show goes. He's, according to Dave, Barclays and Mac Rumors, Barclays and Apple part ways and discontinue the Apple Rewards Visa. Apple will focus on the Apple Card with financing options 1 and 2 years on Apple products. So does this mean that we no longer get our 2 and 3 and all that other happy stuff % back, or is that separate from Barclays?
The
Barclays deal?
Barclays was a completely separate deal. I had the card and I had it for years. I mean, I did a lot of financing with Apple products on it, and you would end up getting like Apple gift cards. You know, you spent so much
Mhm.
money, and then I would get. I mean, that's how I bought my Magic Keyboard. I had $100 I had saved up for Apple Rewards.
A
So
rainy day.
for a rainy day, and didn't have to spend. It didn't sting as much when I used that $100. So, but they were a partner with Apple for quite a long time. It had to been at least
Yeah.
5 or 10 years. So
Sure. Well, I remember when I bought. It was one of the Macs I bought. It was done through Barclays.
Right.
They were like the ones that did all the financing.
and they were a little more aggressive with the finance options. And you could go, I think, up to 2 years on sometimes, or
Without
2.5
interest,
years
yeah.
without interest. So Apple actually, interesting what they'll do with the financing on the Apple Card. They're gonna the Apple Watch, you're gonna be able to finance it for 2 years. So you get a $600 watch, you only have to pay like a small amount each month, which I was very surprised on the Apple Watch. But they are offering the finance options on Mac and iPad, iPhone. It's something I may even look at because I have been doing the Apple upgrade plan, and
Mhm.
I can trade the phone in after a year. But the problem is I'm in it now, so if I wanted to do it, I'd have to pay this phone off and then sell it. If I wanted to start using the Apple Card as financing for the next device, so.
Well, you got Tesla money. Oh, wait. No. That's
No,
Warren.
That's Warren.
That is me.
That is you. That's
Picking it
Warren.
up tomorrow,
Okay.
hopefully. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And I'm still driving a Kia. So the
See
browser
ya.
now defaults. No, it's a quick Kia. It's so fast.
See ya.
Browser defaults in iOS 14. You can now set Chrome and DuckDuckGo as your default instead of Safari and Google search. DuckDuckGo was just added today. So if you've updated your phone to iOS 14, then you can now set your own default apps in some cases. Safari 14. Oh, and Warren, weren't you saying something about there was some kind of issue with Chrome?
Yeah. Well,
Or was that on the Mac?
with
Mac.
with the Mac with Edge, it breaks it on 2 of my laptops at least. It breaks it. I have to like kind of.
So it breaks Edge or Safari gets broken.
Oh wait, but you're on Big Sur though, aren't you?
No, this is on my Catalina machine. So
So when it breaks what does it do?
you open it up and you can't get to any web page even after you reinstall it. So there's a cache you have to remove somehow. I don't remember, but I ran clean my Mac and that seems to fix it. So there's something that kind of it does. But supposedly the Safari updates you to. It's not just an update; it's the next version, Safari 14, which is supposed to be.
But it's going to be in Big Sur.
Yeah. Yep. So it's basically the same one, and it does a few tricks. I think the big trick was, if I write 4K video in Netflix was a big one. I think, right? Pretty sure that was it. Yep.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I saw it. I was working all day today at the office, so I wasn't able to do. As a matter of fact, my iPad is updating right now because I didn't have access to Wi-Fi where I work, so I had to wait till I got home. So my phone is updated and it's around here someplace. I'll set my watch to update before I go to bed tonight.
Yep. Just did that.
And-
Just did that today.
Yep, I did.
Yeah.
I did mine too. We'll talk more about the updates, but yeah. So it's basically the same as the beta. The numbers are the same, but I like to redo it when the real version comes out over the beta. You could download if you go on developer site under release software, you could download the IPSW files, hook them up to your Mac, and hit option while you click on check for update, pick the file that you downloaded, and just kind of overwrites it. Just to make
what's the difference between the Gold Master and the final release product? Is there any real difference?
Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. The number, the identifier of the thing was the same this time, so I'm guessing it's the same.
It's the same.
At this point, but basically The fact that, well, two things. The fact that it was only a day between a Gold Master and today doesn't give developers or Apple enough time to really change
Make
anything.
any big changes? Yeah.
So when it's in previous years, it has changed. But then when the big delay came out today, when it was supposed to come out at 1 o'clock and it came out more like 4, then I'm like, well, maybe they found something, because that's happened too, where they find something in the last minute and then they have to fix it.
And they say no.
Yeah, I think they did that with the watch once. It was bricking. The official one came out, and it started bricking watches, and they kind of got rid of that update right away. Or phones. It was bricking something. So, yeah, I mean, but basically, the Gold Master is supposed to come out with enough time for developers to, get everything final, and the developers are claiming they're not so happy with that, the fact that it came out the day after the
Gold Master.
Yeah, so maybe that delay was just to give them a few more hours. I don't. That was a weird delay. It was supposed to come out, a couple hours earlier. So
it was an epic delay.
It was epic.
Okay.
So we just kind of moved to the main story because that was what.
Oh, actually, no. We'll get to that. Some of the things with Safari 14 is a new tab bar design that shows more tabs on screen and displays favicons by default. Customizable start page allows you to set a background image and add new sections. Privacy report shows cross-site trackers that are being blocked by intelligent tracking prevention, and removes support for Adobe Flash for increased and improved security. Is anyone still running Flash on your Mac? If you are, please stop watching this program. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, leave Flash alone.
What
did Flash ever do to you?
Actually, hold on just a second. My son is sending me a message asking if I am okay. Yes, it was a mistake. I accidentally set out an emergency notification, and the only way I knew it, because just before we started the program, I'm using camo on my iPhone for my camera tonight, and frankly, it looks great. But in the process of doing all of that, somehow I triggered emergency notifications, and the only reason why I knew it was I'd gone upstairs just before we started the record, and my wife was like, "Did you know that your phone is putting out that you're in some kind of emergency?" It's like, what? So I went running downstairs. I'm thinking, oh God, the cops are going to come. Oh God. But instead, what it basically did was it sent a notification to my wife and my 2 sons to let them know that apparently I am in some kind of distress. And all things considered, I guess I kind of was, because I was like, oh no. And now my son is going, careful, old man, careful. So I guess he's thinking, the next time this happens, it'll be like, oh, it's just Dad and he's making a mistake again. In the meantime, I'm laid out on the floor going, So that's my life. Getting on to the main stories. There was an Apple event yesterday. There were quite a few announcements, and I'm not sure who, someone was wrong. So
it was me. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, they released iOS 14, and I have to admit, I am surprised that they released iOS 14 without there being a phone. That was stunning. But they also released
the iPads,
iPad OS 14, Watch OS 7, TV OS 14. It made total sense that there were new iPads and Apple Watch, and someone thought it would be released next year. Apple did make developers upset as they gave them no time to get their apps ready, as the GM Golden Master was released less than 24 hours before iOS 14 was released to the public. Though they did delay it for a little bit, because I know when I was at work, I tried this, I went to see if there were any updates for the phone, and there was not. 13.7 was the latest one. So they did delay it for some reason for just a little while. I'm guessing the 2 of you have done all of your updates, including the watch.
Warren, of course, he's been on it since day one.
Yes.
Sure.
So
well,
yeah, I did
Let's
the
start. Then
updates.
let's start with Warren. Warren, what did you update, and how are you liking it? Is there any real difference from the betas?
Well, the first comment is the on the fact that you were wrong.
Yeah,
Mostly,
of
it was
course. Of course, I was.
mostly it's because of the watch. Because the watch, even though the phone was delayed, Apple had to make a decision: are they going to delay the watch and the iPads as well, if they didn't have to. So the fact that they released that, you can't release the watches. You can't run the watch
A
on
new version of the
watch
Watch OS without the
with the old
iPhone being
phone.
updated.
So
Yeah.
so that's probably what it was. So, anyways, I had the betas on everything. I had the betas, and then yesterday the Gold Masters came out for the iPhone, iPad, and the watch, which I did yesterday. And then today, when it came out, I you could download the files, the IPSW files, and I just kind of overwrite them with the final version just to make sure it's all kind of the same.
And where are
I
you
think
downloading these to your Mac and then just
Mhm.
connecting directly?
Yeah, if you go to the developer website,
Yeah.
where you get your betas, not the public beta, but the developer beta, there's
Yeah.
two little tabs. One on the left says beta, and if you look really closely on the right, it says release software or release. If you click on release, you could download any release software that's out there, and the restore images for that.
Including old versions of the Mac OS?
Yeah,
Not old ones.
not all ones. The current version of
The current release version. Okay, that
software.
sucks. Yeah, I
And-
was kind of hoping it was older versions.
So
No,
you don't have
and
to get
then-
it from the App Store.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about the Mac. I gotta check. I'm not sure if the Mac opens up the App Store or not. I think it does, but
Yeah, it might
certainly,
be.
yeah, certainly the iOS and the iPad OS is you can download the restore images as well. So yeah, I do that. Just kind of plug it in. If you hold down when it comes up in the Finder, if you hold down Option and say check for update, it will ask you to pick that file that you downloaded. You pick that and you just let it fly, and basically it looks exactly the same as it did before. Everything, it's just kind of an overwriting of the newest version of the phone, and that's actually not a bad idea to do once in a while too. If your phone's running funky,
You'd probably get rid of some of the cruft that built up over time.
It's kind of overwrites the core operating system to the device. It's kind of the same as running the Catalina installer again over your Mac. It doesn't. If you do that on Windows, you're done for. So if you in Windows,
Yeah.
if you do that, then you boot up. It says it keeps everything, but nothing works because the registry doesn't work. But on Apple devices, it's good. It works fine.
Okay. What about you, Dave? Have you updated everything?
I sure have. I did not put any beta software on my daily driver devices on my iPad or my iPhone.
I did on the iPad, but I didn't on the phone or the watch.
Yeah, for that matter. So, so last night, as soon as I went and looked at the developer site, and it still said beta 8. I'm like, okay, you guys just announced that it's going to be released tomorrow. How could it be beta 8? And then an hour later, then Warren let me know. I was like, oh, it says GM now. I was like, oh, okay. So apparently they just did it an hour later. So I just went ahead and downloaded them on my iPad and my iPhone. The watch I left be until today, and then it actually came down like around 4:00 Central Time. I was able to finally do it over OTA install of that one. So everything's up to date and current, and got lots of playing to do and lots of getting used to what's up, and obviously doing a lot of training on it too. So
yeah, well, you guys will be talking probably more in depth on your podcast tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Well, has there been any In Touch with iOS? You can find out more information at intouchwithios.com. Yeah.
And Adam Christensen will be joining us. So.
Yes. Good old AC. Tell him I said yo. Any issues or problems?
So far, none for me.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I haven't run into even on the earlier betas, which I was just running on the iPad. I wasn't having any issues with it. It was fine.
If you notice,
I also updated tvOS. I went to my Apple TV and took care of that.
I would have to dust mine off. With the
I'm a
a little
big user.
a little trick though. Definitely go to the App Store. Go to the App Store and do your updates for all your apps if you haven't done that. Because what I noticed, so I knew that this was about to drop. I thought they were going to release the Gold Master yesterday after the keynote, and then next week it would be the release. Just by the fact of if you look in the App Store, like 4 times or 5 times the amount of apps were updating as normal.
Yeah,
so
I did notice I had like 16 to 20 apps that were all asking for updates.
So they knew. So some of them knew somehow that this was happening because they were.
I'm sure
there
they
was
were
a
told
rush.
under NDA or something.
Yeah, there was a rush of a few days before that they were doing, which makes me like a little. I'm not sure why the developers are complaining that they only had the one day, because some knew and some didn't. Because basically the people that
probably
know,
the bigger developers most likely knew.
But even some of the smaller ones were updating too. But even if it's the bigger developers, how do they find out and others don't? I guess it's a question.
Little birdie told them.
I guess
over there, a little birdie that has a nest at one infinite loop. Cupertino.
Apple.
There were some other things that happened at the event yesterday. Whoa, your lighting just went all funky.
Yeah, it just went off there.
That's all right. Nobody's looking at us. Don't worry about
it. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, good. And I'm glad no one's watching. There were actually two new Apple Watches that were released. The Apple Watch Series 6. Was there an update on the processor with that one?
Yes.
It's got to be one chip, yeah.
So it's a faster processor.
20% faster than the 5.
Of course. Well, of course.
Yeah.
There's a blood oxygen monitoring was added. There were some new colors. I think Ed Eisen was just saying. Yeah, he was just saying he got the blue one.
There's a red and blue one too. Yeah, so
I kind of like that blue. And we'll talk about that in a second when we get to the other devices that were released. I guess the big news though was that in a fit of originality, Apple called their mid-range watch the Apple Watch SE. Mm-hmm. I have to say that's a bold move on the part of Apple to make that name change. But the thing that actually sort of surprised me was that they kept the Apple Watch 3 around as the low-end watch.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Didn't move it up to the 4.
It's going to go after the Fitbit market because
for a first time.
Yeah, for a first time Apple Watch user. But you're going from $199 to $279 on the Apple Watch SE. So, so I think that's where they thought in the market. I knew they wouldn't. I mean, there was speculation maybe that they would bring back the Series 4. But why would they want to do that? I mean, they're already competing against each other with the SE and the Series 6. So
yeah,
it only made sense to leave the 3 the way it was.
But the 4 is the SE. Really, I think it might actually be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
With I think it doesn't. Did the 4 have the EKG?
Yes,
I'm pretty sure it did. So the 4 is the same. I think basically they just replaced the crown on the 4 not to have the EKG sensor on it.
Well, unless you already have an Apple Watch 4 or 5, I think that the watch to get for most people would be the SE model.
No, get 6.
Well,
I'm tempted. I'm tempted now. Well, I still have the Series 4. I never upgraded to the 5, so go from the 4.
Well, if you have a 4, why would you go to the SE if it's roughly the
6.
same one? Oh, you'll go to the 6. Yeah, I mean, I've got the 5 now. I picked up the 5 last year.
I have the 5,
and I'm not going to update. I'm not going to update.
I am not. I'm saying it now. Unless it falls into my lap, I'm not updating it either.
I think we got to hold them to that, just like we held you about the.
Yeah.
Marcus says Series 4 does not have ECG.
Yes, it does.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah,
it does. I think they started in the 4 and then the 5 came after that. Yeah,
it has it.
Yeah. But
Wang is sharing.
Wang, he's sharing his Wang.
He's a sharing wang. Thank you, Wang.
But yeah, it's a good update. I mean, if you're looking to buy a watch, yeah, definitely get the 6. I think if that's what you want. For me, I don't care about the color, and I definitely don't care about the blood oxygen thing. You know, the 20% faster would be nice, but I don't notice it's not slow at this point, so it doesn't bother me at all.
I do like the blood oxygen monitoring because with my health that I'm dealing with, I think it'd be nice to be able to know where I'm at with that. So and the ECG is nice too. So it's got some some interesting things that go along with that, and also the bands. They got those solo bands now, which you actually have to measure your wrist by putting. I think it's a piece of paper or something because it's
Or a
of course
roller,
it's a solo band instead of having the the wrap around
Well,
like
doesn't
this.
it just stretch a little bit?
It
Yeah,
does,
but
but
you don't
you have
want
to
it too
measure it.
tight.
You want to get them at the right size, and then they have sizings. I think from like 6 or 7 to 12. I think it is.
So we could all compare wrist sizes coming up.
Exactly. So, but
I
they came out with the what do you call it? The silicon solo band, and then they have
the woven
Yeah.
one like
I
this
really
one.
like
I
that
kind of
woven one.
liked. Yeah, that woven one looks
I
pretty
like
hype.
that woven one. Yeah, that's
I go with the woven one too. I don't like those. I never liked those sport ones.
no, but
Yeah,
the
well,
woven.
this is the one that I've got. I don't know how well you can see that. What do they call this one?
Yeah, that's a third party.
Yeah, it is. It is, but I really like it. It's
This is
comfortable. I'm able to adjust it very nicely.
this is the actual Apple Black Link bracelet one, the $450 one. Seriously.
Oh, the Milanese.
Nope.
The
The
band
the link
itself is
bracelet.
$400.
The 451, yeah.
The band itself was $450.
Yeah. Except I got it used for 200 something, but it was still cool.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's even worth repeating.
Yeah. Moving on from that. Though I could spend hours talking about those.
Sure.
There was an update to the iPad. 2 updates to iPads, really. The 8th Gen
I'm sorry.
10.2.
Just make sure we want to mention to the family setup they added on the SE to allow for multiple watches to be paired to just one iPhone.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So like if you have a but the key with that one is you have to have the watch with cellular because it's not going to communicate. So that was the only caveat with family setup because
I do not have cellular on my watch. Since I always have my phone, I don't see the point.
Well,
which is weird because you want cellular on your iPad.
Yes. Well, I use my iPad with online services a lot.
But you always have your phone. But you always have your phone, and your iPad just could.
I can't play SimCity on my phone. It's got to be on the iPad.
You hotspot your iPad to the phone. You use your iPad, huh?
I'm grandfathered in with a particular carrier for unlimited data. But if you go beyond a certain amount, you start to get strapped down. So I try not to push it too hard on the phone.
Throttling.
Or on the iPad, I mean. So anyway, moving on from that.
I just want to make sure we talked about that.
Yeah. So iPad 8th Gen 10.2 works with the pencil and the keyboard, the Magic Keyboard. Starts and this is like an unbelievable price.
It works with those regular Logic.
Oh no, that was the Air. The Air works with the Magic Keyboard. But it's $329, but it will work with the Smart Keyboard that Apple has.
It does work with the Smart, not the Magic.
Not the Magic. It's got the little dots. It's got the little dots on the side.
The Smart Keyboard,
so that starts at $329. The only limitation is you can only go as far as 256 for storage.
I think it was 128.
Or is it 128?
It was 32 is the minimum, and 128 is there's 2 models.
Okay, yeah, it was the Air that goes up to 256.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so, but considering how most people would use something like an iPad, whether you have a 30, I wouldn't get the 32, but the 128 gig internal storage iPad with iCloud support, I think would meet the needs of really almost everyone out there. And this is a very, very powerful, as far as iPads go, this is a very powerful iPad.
Well, they're shooting for the kids. This is for
don't shoot at children.
They're shooting the kids. Don't think of the children.
Think of the children. I'm thinking of the children. Never mind.
Their target audience is students.
Yes. Then you have the iPad Air 10.9, and this is now. Does the current Pro have the A14, or is the Air the first one with the A14?
Air is the first. Yeah.
I don't get that. The 2020 iPad Pro has the A12, and I don't know when they're going to update the iPad Pro, but the iPad Air, which is the lower model, is the one that has the hottest chip in it right now. And I really don't understand that. However, on the plus side, well, that's a plus as well, but it also has USB-C and shades of Samsung Touch ID in the power button as compared. Well, Samsung had it on the back, but they're still giving you the option. If you're like really into Touch ID and having, or not touch, is it Touch ID in the power button, or is it just the home button?
Yep.
How did they get Touch ID in the power button?
Yeah, they talked about it during the event, and they actually I have a picture of that shows it actually shows the breakout,
the layers
of the layers.
Really?
And I'm curious to see how it works. I agree with you, because you think about it. You take an iPad and you're touching the power button. How is it going to pick up your finger?
No idea.
Because we're so used to the old Touch ID with the home button, where it would touch pretty much your entire finger. But there's the technology. Obviously, it must work.
So well, this basically means that if you're a fan of the big home button, there's only 2 iPads left that will support you. That's the iPad 8th gen and the iPad. Currently, the iPad Mini are the only 2 iPads that still have Touch ID and the home button there at the bottom of the screen. iPad Air has it in on the power button, and I don't believe either the 2018 or the 2020 iPad Pro has it at all. It's all
Face ID.
It's all Face ID, which, because I picked up that 2018 iPad myself, and I have to say I am pleasantly surprised at how well Face ID works, whether I'm wearing glasses with this big bushy beard. Huh? I'm sorry?
You have the 11-inch, right?
No, I got the 12.9.
12.9. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the 11-inch.
Yeah, we both. Dave and I have the 11.
Yeah.
So to get back to this, the iPad Air that just came out is basically the 11-inch iPad Pro of 2018 / 2020
with a better chip.
With a better chip,
better processor.
Without the
and
better
USB-C.
Chip. Well, no, we have USB-C too.
Okay.
So it doesn't have Face ID, which to me is not a big deal, to be honest with you. Yeah. It has that thing on the side, and it doesn't have the LiDAR in the new 2020, and it's got the faster chip, but everything else is exactly the same.
I honestly think this iPad Air is a steal. First,
I would have gotten this. Yeah, I would have gotten this compared to the Pro. Totally. So it has so it does have the on the back of these iPad Pros and the iPad Airs are the magnets on the back, which you could put it on the Magic Keyboard. That's how it kind of works. It calls it a 10.9, but I think it's the same exact size as the 11-inch Pro.
More or less, yeah. It's probably just the only real difference as far as not so much the screen size, but the overall size of the device with bezels is probably the same.
It's got a little more bezels, yeah. But they're gonna update the Pro. I mean, I don't think they're gonna give up in the new Pro.
Not this year. They won't do it this year.
No.
If they do a chip, they might just do a chip bump. I mean, they could.
Right. You and I and Dave are not going to see any difference in performance between this one and the Pros we have. I mean, that's it's not going to make a difference.
Are you both? Well, I thought you guys bumped up to the 20.
No,
I stay with
You're
the
still on the
also-
18s?
we are the 18s. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So all three of us are on the 18s. That surprises me.
So I mean, there's no right now on my 11-inch Pro. There's no iPad out there that I rather have. That I need to feel like I have to have. That's out, with the exception of maybe the bigger version that you have
12.9.
here and there sometimes, but not always. So it's good. I mean, it's if you're looking, it's definitely going to take sales away from the Pro model. I think.
Absolutely.
I don't
That's-
think they care as long as people are up. I think that the Air is to try to entice people that have older Pros like I did, or older iPads that want to make a reasonably good jump to something new. And I think the Air will meet that market very well. And it keeps everybody in the Apple ecosystem.
They should
Well,
actually
and-
just call this one a Pro. They should call this one a Pro, and have two versions of the Pro, one with Face ID and one without.
Oh, and then
Yeah, I think
also,
that would confuse the market.
also
but-
add that the Air has a variety of colors. You only have like 2 colors in the Pros.
Yeah,
Sky
I was going to
blue
talk
and
that
rose
blue,
gold
that
and-
yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember when they came out with the phone last year? And you have the green phone, right?
Green,
Don't you,
right.
David?
Yes.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, that is such a beautiful color on the
I like this
phone.
color. I do.
Yeah, green
And
over-
when I saw the blue, well, yeah, you put a case on it, and who can tell the difference anyway? When I saw the blue for the iPad Air, it kind of gave me that same vibe. And I know it's completely useless as far as specs go, but the way something looks and the way it makes you feel when you see it has something to do with how you'll interact with that machine. And I think that sky blue that they have for the iPad Air just looks amazing. I think it's beautiful, beautiful color.
I agree.
Now they did announce a new service, Fitness Plus, to compete against Peloton and its workout service. $9.99 per month, $79.99 a year, coming in later on in the fall. 3 months free with an Apple Watch purchase.
Mhm.
So I guess that's what, 20, it's like $30 you would get off on the watch if you use
Right,
the
'cause
Fitness Plus.
It's $9.99 a month or $79.99 for the year. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the Ed has something here. We'll see what Fitness Plus brings to the table once people are able to use it. I'll certainly check it out, and I'll check it out because of what we're going to talk about in just a second.
Yeah, it's the big support part of it. It's a service. I mean, people are now going to be able to do a
Yeah.
workout. I mean, Peloton's shaking in their boots. If anybody didn't watch the Peloton stock, as soon as that Fitness Plus got announced, their stock was like this, and then it just took a nosedive because people were
Really?
in the stock market because they're thinking, oh, this might be a big competition because you
Well,
don't have
and-
to buy
and-
any hardware. You don't have to buy,
Well-
spend $3-4 grand for a bike.
Which is pretty expensive, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you can-
remember as well that your watch and your phone will connect to certain exercise equipment.
Mhm.
So, and that exercise equipment
That
is
too.
likely to be much less expensive than anything you'll get from Peloton. So, if depending on, and I'm going to guess here that we're going to see product announcements tied into Fitness Plus from other companies other than Peloton to kind of break into that market, because Apple is taking care of the workout part of it, and all the manufacturers have to do is compete on price and performance on exercise equipment.
Well, I mean,
So
think
yeah, if I was Peloton, I would be worried too.
Peloton should be worried because I mean, they were showing it. They're showing it during the event. People just set their iPhone, even if they're going into a gym. They're on a treadmill. They're on any of their different devices. They've got those videos just like Peloton does, and they can do workouts, and that's part of the Fitness Plus services. All these.
Well, are they going to
they're
have
all these-
live instructors as well? Because that's something that
I don't know.
Peloton
That's
at Peloton does that I don't know if this service does. But at the same time, if you're talking about a significant savings in the thousands of dollars plus membership, because you have to pay for the Peloton membership as well, then will people care if it's a pre-recorded workout versus something live?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
The last thing that they talked about was I guess it was kind of the one more thing for the event, though I don't think it really came as much of a surprise
kind
to
of out of
anyone.
order. It got announced kind of midway through the announcements.
Did it? Okay. Well, it was the one thing that I don't think was like a big topic of conversation. I think most people were talking about the watch. People were talking about the iPad. The speculation on whether or not they would announce the first Mac with silicone. But the Apple One bundle, that's something that we've all talked about quite a bit. Not so much in this particular format, but that they should bundle some of their services. I know Gaz and I have talked about it over at the MyMac.com podcast. And the weird thing, Apple does this thing where they say, okay, well, it's only this amount of money and you get this, this, and this. But if you just spend a little bit more, you can have this, almost like Carol Merrill from the old Let's Make a Deal show, show them what's in door number 1. Isn't that great? And you can have that, or you can have what's behind the secret box in door number 2. But I mean, regardless, the fact that the individual plan and the family plan, the big difference between them is how much storage you get in iCloud and how many people you can share this with. And that was the part to me that was the real big kicker with these bundles is not only are you bundling these services together and maybe getting a service that you didn't expect to have or didn't use before at a cheaper price, but now with the family and premier plans, you can share all these services with your kids, with your, whoever else in your family that you want to share these with. And if you go to the premier one, because I'm spending right now, because I've got music, I've got Apple TV, I've got Arcade, and I've got the 2 terabyte iCloud subscription, and I'm spending about $30 a month in Apple services. So now for that same $30 a month, I also get News Plus, which, it was one of those things where I don't want to spend more money on it, but if it's going to be included in a bundle, then sure, I'll spend more time with it.
Right.
And the new fitness app, Fitness Plus, and we'll see what that looks like going forward, off of that same $30.
No, it's
so what service, Warren, what services do you have?
So yeah, I did the math too, and I'm pretty much like you right now. I'm paying, came to like $32 and change for what I got. So, we have family on music, News Plus. We're still getting the free Apple TV until November. 200
right, but
gig,
that's what $6.99?
$5, $4.99.
Okay, $4.99.
And then I got 200 gig iCloud, and that's it. So if I added that up, it came to like $32.
Okay.
no brainer.
So for $3 cheaper, I get pretty much the same thing that I have, and I get TV Plus going forward with the without the free version. I get the
and more storage too.
Well, the more storage is what I'm excited about, because I was basically almost there. I was I was to the point where I was at the limit, and I was getting a little nervous because there's no 400 plan or 500 plan. You have to go
you either go from 200 gig to 2 terabytes.
Exactly.
Thank you, Apple.
Exactly. So the 2 terabyte plan is what seals the deal for me. I mean, that I could totally deal without Arcade. I could totally deal without the fitness. I mean, look at us. I mean, we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm only 25, so
there you go. But hey, the family arcade, that'd be cool for $3 cheaper than what we're paying.
Yeah, just start playing You Don't Know Jack. If you ever played that before, that's always fun.
That is fun. So if if they had a family plan like the 1995 $19.95 that had the News Plus added to that for an extra like $5 for like $25, that would be the perfect one, but they don't. So, so whatever. It's a
Okay.
good deal. Yeah.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I did the kind of the math too. Is I have Apple Music and I pay the yearly plan, which is $99. So that comes out to about $8.25 a month if you divide it out. I've got I am currently paying for News Plus. That's $10. iCloud I've got the 200 gig plan and that's another $3, and then of course we'll have $5 for TV app. So it adds up about the same, and then plus you're getting the two extras. I don't care about arcade. I tried it. I'm not a gamer. But then Fitness Plus, again, yeah, like Warren says, yeah, are you going to be working out? But who knows? It might motivate me to do something by utilizing the fitness stuff. So, but I think this was a great. I think it's a decent bundle. Now, if you the other thing too is with the individuals and the families. If you decide, hey, you want to upgrade your iCloud, let's say you go with the individual, which is 50 gigs, and you decide you want to upgrade it to 200 gigs, you can do that, and you just pay the extra the difference. I think was it from 99 cents to $2.99 to go to 200.
Yeah, well,
gigs.
it's like, and it's $5 more a month to do that.
Yeah. So you can't. They are allowing the change in the upgrades on the lower tier plans on iCloud. So, but I agree with Warren. I think the family plan would be a little bit of a sweeter spot if they could at least include a News Plus in the family plan and pay a couple extra bucks. Save a few dollars. But yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, that's going to about do it for tonight. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about,
No.
or are we good?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. The only thing I'll mention that we didn't mention here is if you have AirPods Pro and the Beats Pro,
Yeah.
iOS
There's a
14
firmware update.
Yeah, there's a
those.
firmware update, but if you have those models, it has something called spatial audio,
I gotta try that. I gotta try that as soon as we
which
get off.
is
That sounds so cool.
It is super cool. Actually, if the on Apple TV, if you watch the keynote with it, it used the spatial audio.
Oh,
And
did it?
It totally did.
That's funny. That is funny.
Great.
It's kind of just really weird. Like if you turn your head, it moves the sound with you, and the phone moves the sound if you move your phone around. And there actually sounds like at some point that you're not even wearing the earphones. Like you actually think the sound is coming directly from the phone, and you're like, oh God, I don't have, like my earphones aren't working, and my phone's making a noise, and it's totally not. It's like it's like really deceiving, but it's really cool. I mean, it's just it's trippy. So I think
forgot about that. I gotta try that.
So the Apple TV update will let that happen too. So that's going to be an experience too. So I'm going to try that too. But it's
audio.
It was spatial audio. So it's just really it makes
what are those things going for now? Are they still $249?
I've seen them on sale for $200 for a lot of times.
Because these are the first gen AirPods.
Yeah.
And depending on what I hear about spatial audio, because I told you guys about experiencing that down at Disney World when I was when my wife and I went down there one time, and it was kind of amazing wearing those headphones and hearing sound coming at you from different directions.
That's crazy.
And that was 30 years ago. Well, not 30 because it was my wife and I. It could have been 30 years ago.
40.
40. Hey. So depending on what the price of that is and what other stuff I may or may not need to buy, like microphones, I would consider getting AirPod Pros. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I'm loving them.
So tell me something, Mr. Dave. If people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do it?
They would do it by going to In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. As I mentioned, we recorded a reaction time episode, so if you wanted to hear us, it was a special episode from yesterday with Mike Potter, Chuck Joyner, and
Gazmaz.
Gazmaz with us as well. We had a great time. Take a listen to that episode. And then we're
I
going to
know
record
him
another
from
episode.
somewhere.
Yeah, you do. And we're going to record another episode tomorrow with Adam Christensen as our guest, and be talking a lot more about this event because there was just like everybody want to get everybody's review of what was talked about as well as what to expect, and a lot of discussion about iOS 14 and iPadOS 14. There's a lot to talk about the next few weeks here. So, but check it out, and then you also can find me on Twitter at DaveG65.
Okay, Warren.
Yeah, I'll be at the Tesla dealer tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. If you'd like to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com. You can find me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot, and I'm also Vert Shark over there on the Twitters. If you go over to vertshark.com, you will find all of my stuffs for audios and the videos. Vert Shark over there on the YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and watch or listen to any of this, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you missed that the first time, it's like, share, subscribe. Smash that notification bell. Just like all those kids tell you to do. Smash that bell. I also do the mymac.com podcast almost every single weekend with the aforementioned Gazmaz, as well as Guy's Daily Drive, which for some stupid reason I do while driving in my car. I actually have 2 episodes I need to edit and get posted, and I will probably do all of those things tomorrow since I'm working from home. What else? If you'd like to support my ever increasing and increasingly sad microphone habit, all you have to do is go on over to patreon.com/Mac Parrot. You can go over to ko-fi.com/Mac Parrot or paypal.me/Mac Parrot. You can make, that's all the different ways that you can support me, and StreamYard, which is what I'm using, as well as my website and everything else, as well as microphones. I really, really would appreciate any help that you guys could give me, because God knows I do need help. So I think that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us tonight on the Mac to the Future Go livecast. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Warren. And anything else before we go here?
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're going to go. See ya.